Sounds like a good motto to me. I love
it. Reading.
All right.
Hello.
We have the most people we've ever had on a recap show. I got Katie, I got Benz, I got Sean here. We got Brian and Abbey, or Brabby. I don't know about that. And Hall.
I don't know either.
Over there. And I'm going to do the housekeeping, and we're going to get into this because this was a great show for everyone going to Merriweather. Tomorrow night, Tim and I will be on the lot. So Llama's going to be in charge with Brian Brinkman from HF Pod, who we've partnered with all summer, Guy Forget Ghost, and Pixel Walk. So it's going to be a packed thing tomorrow night. Oh, yeah. And then Brian's going to be back with everyone's favorite PH DJ on Sunday night, just the two of them. So that's with Llama. So that's going to be interesting. And HF Pod every day. Tomorrow, 1:00, check them out. They have Evan Hayon on, who's on Twitter at HeyEve123, and Alex May, who's not on Twitter. We've partnered with them all summer. They've shown us a lot of love. So we're trying to throw that shout out. And then we're going to get right into it with MoMA, and I'm going to send it to Brian to open us up.
Well, actually, I want to give a shout out to Brad because I bought the stream tonight. I wanted to make sure there was no glitches or anything, but wow. I actually missed MoMA and I caught the end of Possum, but I'm sure it was very standard because by the time I left work and got home, the song was already kind of over. So
it came in at 7 minutes. So, and did Abby catch it, or was she working with you?
No, she was riding horses. Yeah.
Oh, is that code for something? No.
Oh, I was like, well, oh no. Well, it's actually it could be. It could be.
But Hawk caught it. Hawk was the one texting me the set list in the middle of it. So
right. So you bought a horse, or do you just go and ride horses?
I lease a horse, which is
interesting, like a car.
About to get beat up, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I lease a horse. Yes, I've been basically gifted a horse without having to buy it. So yeah, that's really nice. Nice. But I do feel like MoMA and Possum, those have already been played this tour, right? A lot of the first set has already been played.
Third Possum, I think. Third Possum, right, Hall?
I always like MoMA, but I feel like that's an interesting choice for an opener.
Well, the thing about MoMA was that it turned into a little bit of a tease for the rest of the set. Like the jams that evolved finally toward the end of the set sort of got back to the funky space, and they were in the MoMA jam again, or Black Eyed Katie, whatever you want to consider it. But that's what I'm hearing.
Wait, is there something
that
makes it more like that?
No, I have no idea, but yeah.
Possum was in the two spot. Possum was in the two spot at Merriweather.
The first right?
Yeah. Out of Carini. It was Carini Possum. It was 9 minutes. It was a good Possum.
It was a solid Possum.
I mean, after this Possum, same with the Possum that night too. Right. MSU was just kind of a dive.
Right. Mercedes came in during Possum. Sean was already here. Katie was somewhere outside of Maryland.
Possum is such a good energy filler song. You want it in between the couple bangers at the end of a set. It's a weird second set choice after a MoMA.
I mean, even the way the show started, you could kind of tell it was going to be very 3.0. And let's be real, it was a very 3.0 show. The whole.
And I thank the fucking Phish gods for that.
I'm pretty happy about that too.
I feel bad. It's my buddy Eric's birthday today. He's it's a hometown show for him, and he didn't get his sloth. He didn't get this.
He's probably wearing his Donna pants.
Donna. He's got Donna.
I'm wearing my sloth shirt tomorrow. Now.
Sloth.
That could happen.
All right. So then we get to the meat of the first set early, but I'm going to throw it to you, Hall, because I know you're in love with this already.
No, I mean, I thought the best, it started to get cranked up when they started Steam, and they actually started listening to each other, and maybe we can have some fun with this tonight and not play inside the box songs. Uh, and Trey had, I think that's where the Streets of Cairo tees kicked in. There was one of those early on, and but it was funny because during the Steam Jam, I was like, man, I swear I hear Stash a little bit in the jam. And sure enough, they went into Stash, which was a lot of fun. It made me happy. And then they modulated and turned, the dark jam into the major jam, but brought the head back around, finished Stash, and then went back into Steam. And pretty fun little segment right there. I was hoping Paige was really thrilled with that sandwich because I was. But after the, sort of cut, it was great played music. I'm not knocking the band or anything, but that's when it started to get interesting a little bit, and that sort of led into the closer of the set. But I don't want to jump the gun too much,
No.
Has
we're
that
gonna
happened
jump-
before? The Steam Stash thing?
Yeah. The Steam Stash theme.
Steam Stash Steam.
I actually had.
And then, you know what? Can you
In my
see
notes, I had that
5
like
times
Paige
in a
had a,
row?
I had Paige
It's
had a
really-
nice flavor in there too to like
Really
go
hard
into.
to say fast. I've tried it. I've been practicing, but Steam Stash Team it's actually challenging.
Yeah, but I had like notes that Paige had a nice layer to like come back into like the major key of that, like just get nice and bright and everything. And then it was just like a quick change back to whatever the minor to finish the Stash out or the Steam out or backwards.
Right. No, I
back
just
into
felt
the
like-
Steam.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally.
It was only like a minute that they were there, and they landed into Funky Bitch, which was. I'm going to throw it to the
Yep.
guys behind me.
I'm so mad about the Funky Bitch. It's my 32nd show, and I've never gotten a Funky Bitch. And my
What?
name is Funky Witch. And I've never gotten it. So I'm not getting it this tour.
That is a wild stat.
Like,
Yeah,
what the
that
fuck?
is.
Like, what the fuck?
It'll happen.
Aw.
I know it's the one that you're always chasing that you haven't heard yet. Seems to take like forever. Like
No,
I missed-
man,
I was telling them earlier that the first time I heard Funky Bitch, I thought it was an Allman Brothers tune. And then Ben said to me, sounds like Southbound. And it does the way Phish covers the song.
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That was like kind of standard. I always feel that's like I don't know, like when
It
Mike
is what it
Fowler-
is. You're going to get, when they do Funky Bitch, it pretty much is what it is. It's a blues
Right.
romp.
It's great.
True.
It's
Yeah.
an amazing tune. It's so much fun to fucking dance to.
Definitely one of my favorites.
It kind of was like there was like a bluesiness to everything tonight, even like into the jams. I felt like in Funky Bitch just like kind of has that bluesiness and
Yeah.
And
what
Steve
we were
Kelly too.
wedge, it's a wedge.
You're allowed to jump ahead because I'm just going to force everybody to go back to the wedge at 6 minutes. If you blinked, you'd miss it.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
but
they-
wedge. Ultimate respect for that.
I literally have notes for the song before it and after it, and I just have Wedge.
No,
Slice of cheese.
I feel like the wedge
I
is
wrote
always,
standard, still waiting for them to jam it.
yeah, no, the wedge is like the one song that they play when they don't know what to play.
Right.
That's and it's like the bet. It's a great Phish groove. It's like the Phish groove, but I was a little bit. I was surprised they dropped it when they did. And this continues. I've been noticing the whole first part of this tour. They've been really focused on riff. Like they've been playing lots of tunes. They've almost played the whole album at this point. Like throughout
Oh,
the
I got
tour.
it. I have a theory. I have a theory on riff. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
what is it?
nine times out of 10, when they play a riff song, they play a second song from that album somewhere in the same set. You
Right,
always
okay.
get two riff tunes.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool. And no, I like that.
And we ended up in a riff tune.
And they riff
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
don't like
I'll take all the accolades now. I love Horn, and somebody the other day told me it was a Stalker song.
I don't
And
like
then
it. That's what I
That's what you said, right? And now I listened to it tonight, and I was like, maybe it is a stalker song.
So the
Wait,
thing,
no,
the
Ben,
thing I thought about
Babs loves horn.
the thing I thought about Horn was, I thought it was a bust out, but apparently it's been played every 20 and 25 songs for the last 10 times they've played it. And a bunch of 3.0, they're
It was
played
the
it like
Deer Creek,
5,
right?
7
I
shows.
think they played it at the Arkansas opener. Didn't they?
Probably.
Oh boy.
We love Midwest shows. I love the Midwest.
It was a rough beginning too.
Maybe that was
Getting a horn, but I mean that's not a song I really want to hear in a set. Like, let's be
Right.
out of all. Yeah.
I only get excited by a horn because I think Bathtub Jen is next, and it usually is. But not tonight.
I wasn't here during the first set.
Oh, there
Hey.
she is.
I'm the Kevin now.
She is.
There we go.
I don't know. Oh wait, I see. He's got the set list over here.
Give me a beer.
I
Are
don't
we
know,
still
I
talking
feel
about
like-
Horn, or are we gonna go into Rise Come Together, which is definitely a sex song?
Oh my God.
We got Rise Come Together at our first show together at Shoreline, right? It was-
See,
I remember because it was
Oh, yeah,
a
best
perfect.
first show
It was
ever.
a perfect
So-
time break. We went during
Did
Brian and
anyone
Robert together.
Did anyone get the overall timing on that jam? Because I felt like it might have
I said
crossed
that.
20
I was
minutes.
like, I bet this is one of the longest Rise Come Together ever. But of course, there's no
Well,
stats on Rise Come Together because I mean,
it's the first time they've ever done a type 2 jam out of the Come Together segment. And then they came back together. The best
It
part
was-
was that they finished it.
came back together.
the only reason I liked it is because I couldn't tell it was Rise Come Together when they were jamming it.
So
Oh,
like,
that's the best.
So that
Yeah,
was
when
it.
you forgot where you were.
It was
No,
bluesy and beautiful. I really liked
I
it.
feel like it started with Trey held some long notes, and then all of a sudden Gordo started playing the liquid bass, which we heard the rest of the second set. But
Mike was really on.
I don't know, there was a page build, they all kind of got together, and then all of a sudden Trey felt like he was trying to find a tone, he couldn't find it, and he went to the whale call, that thing that we heard from MSG.
There was a
And
cat
they-
sound.
He was playing it happened 3 or 4 times tonight. But Trey was when he was peaking the jam. A lot of times he was using his old familiar lick from which really started doing Baker's Dozen, but we call it the lick. But it's like Main Street. It's like that in some kind of form. He's always using it. And
start moving during the Baker's Dozen. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing before that. It was during the Baker's Dozen, right?
Well, no, that's not true. The lick. We've tracked it back to the mid '90s, 96. It started with the Disease or a Week of Pog. But anyway, Trey's been all over it this tour. Every jam has a little reference to it, as you might have seen on the Twitter feed.
Is the Streets of Cairo tease. We haven't
Oh,
heard
and
that.
he did that tonight.
Oh, I want another Tears of the Clown tease. What are you talking about? That's the best tease. That's the
My
best.
favorite tease is
Nobody knows what the fuck Streets of Cairo is. Is that even a real song?
It's just a riff.
Yeah, it's just a riff. And then my favorite tease is
Very heavy 3.0. See,
Fat
they
Guy-
played it tonight. It's a 3.0 show.
I feel like
Yeah,
the jam and Rise Come Together tonight really sounded like the Sigma Oasis jam from the other night. It was the
The
same piece of
biggest
music.
surprise for me of the night was that I really enjoyed that Rise Come Together jam. I thought that was really
there is
cool.
a
Rise Come
You know,
Together into the loving cup category for me. It's like a set closer,
You know what?
really predictable. Usually that's go to the bathroom before the set break. But it was really rad. It went somewhere. It was bluesy. It was engaging.
they totally jam.
It was like the second coming.
No, it's
Yeah.
Sigma Oasis for 8 to 10 minutes. That jam was Sigma Oasis. Trey
It was
teased
double
it.
the length of any other come together that they've ever done.
No, it's totally Sigma Oasis. I think a lot of
Great.
people.
I love the second coming. It's
What he wanted to jam. He just couldn't
Fantastic.
quite figure it out. And then he randomly did Rise Come Together. That's what it felt like.
Right.
He was like, oh, I'm going to play this really kind of random clunker 3.0 set, put Rise Come Together at the end, and then randomly jam it out. Just blissy, bluesy. It was surprising.
and the song, it's Rise Come Together.
Yeah, and then they finished it.
Never
So-
done
so
it
You gotta rise.
But
On that note, we're going to go to another commercial. Actually, I'm going to piss Tim off and actually play the commercial if I can find it, because it's fucking the best, some of the best shit we've ever done. So I'll see you in 30 seconds, guys. Wooks Plus.
HF Pod. Oh,
Hey!
hey, you got your Wook Plus in the
Well, you
HF
got
Pod.
your HF Pod on my
What?
Wook Plus. What?
Oh.
Delicious.
Catch your Phish show recaps 15 minutes after each encore on Wook Plus.
And the next afternoon at 1 on HF Pod. Some of the best work we've ever done.
Love that. song.
And tomorrow, speaking of HF Pod, we have they're gonna have Evan Hay on one. Shoot me if I said it wrong, and Alex May. They'll be on at 1 o'clock on Osiris channel on YouTube, or you go, I guess, a half hour after, an hour after, they'll have the podcast up of it. And tomorrow night we have Brian Brinkman from HF Pod on with Guy Forget Ghost and Pixel Wooks. It isn't going to be as fun as tonight, but it's going to be a really good show. It could be as fun. There won't be people on the couch.
No,
And
I'll be on the couch. I'll be past the
Right.
podcast.
after 2 years, I finally have someone.
All those people on the couch are gonna be at the show.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we're taking up half the lawn tomorrow night. If you guys need to find me, I'm going to go over to Dolly Parton at 7 o'clock and try to fucking wrangle as many people as I can to come hang down with us.
Find me.
I'll be. Yeah, no, I'll be in 201.
All right, and and if anybody's in Savage, Maryland tomorrow at the dive bar, 12:30, we got a bunch of people coming, so it could get ugly if you want to come down. Let's jump into the second set with the punk rockest thingy that they've ever done, and let me just say that when I was younger, I was very much feeling like it was making fun of punk rock. And as I've grown older, I feel like it was Mike's chance to try to embrace it.
Honestly, it was the first song I ever heard by Phish. My buddy Patrick, who brought me actually out to California, was like, hey man, you like punk rock, you should listen to this. And honestly, that was the gateway into Phish for me. So maybe it was purposely done to like grab new audiences at that time, especially being from the East Coast, like a lot of punk rock over there.
Mid 80s, right? Late 80s.
Interestingly,
East Coast,
I'm East Coast punk
East
rock
Coast
as fuck.
punk rock.
Like, I'm the same way I showed everyone photos of me in my punk rock phase the other day.
Oh, your Avril Lagreen phase.
Lagreen, my Avril Lagreen phase.
I saw Avril 6 times front row when I was in 8th grade. Katie
Oh
Lee.
yeah. Did you have a plaid neon skirt?
I used to wear ties on Valentine's Day in middle school. I was so hardcore Avril Lavigne, you have no idea.
I just have one question.
My father, I was like, hey, do you have this photo? He was like, maybe somewhere on my iPad from 2008. I was like,
I wear my Avril Lavigne concert tees to Ween shows because it feels like the best place to wear it.
we should just wear it at Phish from now on.
I know. I unpacked a bunch of that stuff.
Anyway, like big black fur creatures, like different kind of style how they played it. Not like we didn't get the.
No, my
microphone.
question is this: so was it a slow BBFC FM?
It felt slower.
You had to think about that, didn't you?
It was. No,
It was slow.
it was slow. Come on now. It was. It's in. The
It was a
same
different.
category.
It wasn't slow. It wasn't slow and company slow. It was a half step slower, maybe.
But it was not as driving. It was back on the beat, dude.
Want to bang your head to that
That was
song.
the slow. That was the slow BBFC FM. Here's the thing. This is what I thought they were gonna do because like 2 years in a row they debuted the Slow Llama in Raleigh, right?
Oh, right.
And then they played it again the next year, And so then this year we're gonna be like, oh, let's do the slow.
No, then we get
BBFC
slow
of
maze.
them.
Then we get slow maze. Now we get slow big black furry creatures. What's
That's
Wash your
right.
mouth. Wash your mouth.
seems-
with the slow maze.
I'm gonna ask him about this, but I feel like this is a Fishman situation.
What, that
bring
he
it up.
can't keep up?
Oh, you dropped the name.
That he can't keep up?
No. That he suggested, why don't we do a slow BBFC of them?
Because he can't keep up?
No, Fishman can crush them.
Absolutely.
He practices all day. All day. No, this is
So
not
that
a
was
knock on Fishman.
apparently that
This
was
is-
according to our buddy Scott Marks, Biz Archive over there on the Twitter machine. That was the first time ever a big black furry creature from Mars opened a second
open.
set.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Fantastic. And it was 3 minutes and we spent more than that talking about it, but it deserves
Well,
it.
the second set
Although-
opener has mostly been like kind of a song, and we're gonna cut it off, and then we're just gonna go into
That
a
was,
jam.
you know what? It was a little tip of the hat to Brad. We're going to do the first song for 3 minutes this time for you and make everybody
No.
buy the stream. And then if you bought the stream, you saw a 17-minute Carini that somebody told me wasn't going anywhere.
It went a lot of places, but it went a lot of familiar places.
That's how I feel too. I was like, that was great, but it wasn't anything I've ever.
It was kind of all over the place. It took a minute to get to something, and then Trey and Mike had something nice going back and forth, and it went like tone change, like music change, this change,
Right.
this
Like
change.
they had a 2-minute timer, they had an egg timer on it.
It was, it's like they couldn't figure out where they wanted to stay, so they just kind of gave up on everything.
It was five minute, it's like a 5 movement, but each movement was 2 minutes long.
Right.
There you go. And then they went into Waste, which
Right.
I'm just going to say here that the past couple of shows, the slow song has moved up from the 6-7 spot to the 3-4 spot. Like
I'll just
Trey's
say-
like,
It's you. It's
I'll
you,
just
don't-
I'll just say
You
this,
know.
like the Fast Enough for You, it makes me think of this when you say that. The Fast Enough from You from the second night at Bethel is like a great example. They crushed that. It was perfect placement. I thought the Waste was good tonight, but sort of a little bit maybe like
It's also like the fourth waist this tour or something.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. If you're saying like a waist is good in the third spot, you're like, okay, there was really
I don't
nothing
know,
good
man.
in the couple. So
right.
No,
but
there's a
it
lot of
felt
work.
like the Carini wasn't a 17-minute payoff for Waste because I feel like you said, Brian, it was all over the place.
No, it was. It was.
Oh, wow.
It was.
Hey,
Once a while.
Katie, there's
I guess I gave up after 13 minutes.
I was out back smoking cigarettes, which I know nobody else does anymore. And a couple moths flew in, and Katie has been nice enough to be catching them and letting them out instead of smashing them like I usually do. All right. And talk about smashing, the next 2 songs, fucking
Correct.
the next 21 minutes were the greatest thing I heard, knowing I'm going to Merriweather tomorrow with the Ruby Waves and whatever that Sea of Stars song is. And let me just say, if you cut out the fucking vocals and gave me the 10 minutes of jam they did, I would take that
I agree.
any day of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, like the end of that song sounded like the end of that Chula Piper. It got like spaceshipy. It kind of went like a little bit. It wasn't as long as as deep, but like it was a really nice ending to that song.
It'll suck your soul out.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Somebody crush either one of them or defend them.
No one.
No, the Ruby
All
Wave.
right, then. That was 21 minutes of this set. We
The
just threw
Ruby.
out the
I mean,
window.
the Ruby Wave was nasty. It got really dark.
I like Ruby
There
Ray.
was some
Love it.
people during that Ruby Waves.
And then was it Ruby Waves Piper or was there?
Yeah,
a
you
You need to see a stars and then Piper.
Yeah.
right?
Where
So
was
they
it?
threw it back to back, Goes to the Forest song, maybe for the first
Oh.
time ever that we had back to back.
So
Like
this might have been the
6
most.
minutes
This
of the
might have
stars.
been
There
the
was
most like.
like,
This is probably
Yeah.
like the most 3.0 show ever in a lot of ways.
And it probably
I
is.
said that the second song in.
Where is young Ryan?
Yeah, where is young Ryan when you need him? But we ended up in Piper, and I guess if
Piper
we want to
got
drag
nasty.
out the horse that we want to beat, there was no slow fucking Piper intro.
You know,
And,
but I will tell you though, no, Trey tried for a few seconds. The transition into Piper was pretty fucking filthy, and he was trying to hold back really hard. But you know, you can't prevent the eruption. You know, you can't hold back. It's sort of what it is. But
so
at
you're
some
saying it was a
point,
premature Piper.
There was.
premature Piper. No, it's not. I mean, it's
There was. 6 minutes into the Beneath the Sea of Stars, there was a Piper for a little bit.
Piper
It didn't
riff.
happen.
Right, there were some licks.
No, and this happened
Piper
like
is
several
my
times. Like
favorite style. So
I had several moments during the show. This happened like 3 or 4 times with me, where
That's good.
in a jam,
We caught them all.
song, right? Like you hear what's coming up, like with Stash, and then with
Right.
Piper. You know, they sort of telegraphed it a little bit, like
Right.
and
maybe
sometimes
that's
that happens.
maybe
And
that
that's
goes
why it's a
back
very
to
3.0 show. We're gonna tease it to let the band know where this is what's gonna happen. Then there we go.
it's
Here we go.
Trey taking the secret language to being a text message. This is what we're going to play in a few minutes. He plays a little lick. The rest of the band's like, all right, I know where we're going. They spend another 2 minutes figuring it, how to get there.
But
And
here's
then
my
boom, they
question.
landed it.
Like that Arkansas
Here's my
show
question.
where Trey just looked at everybody and went like this.
Is that better than him saying it into the boom mic in Fishman?
Oh, I
I know.
like it much better.
It's,
I like it much
just-
better.
But no, what did he do? The other night was really funny because he tried to like whisper it, but everyone still heard him.
Somebody told him right that it was happening. And then we ended up.
You know what he should do? He should put that microphone on a little bit more and just be like, fuck your face. And it just booms over everything.
Yes.
That's the move.
Melt the guns.
No,
Everybody
you should-
freaks
yeah.
out and they go into fucking Sea of Stars for the second night in a row.
But the Ruby Waves was hot. You know, that segment of the show is in particular great. You know,
And that's my issue. The lyric fucking the pinball thing. I'm like, come on, Trey. If
Well,
you
I
only
mean-
could've-
I mean, I heard that.
Are you
The
kidding?
pinball
Like,
thing.
you like Frank Zappa?
I do.
So then
I
what
wrote
do
my
you mean that
thesis.
The lyrics have to mean something.
I'm a-
Read Yellow Snow, Kevin.
I have a degree in poetry, and what Zappa
okay,
did,
man.
what Zappa did was social protest, and that's another story.
Okay, so really, we're gonna go.
We can go into that later.
We can't go into that.
I can connect Zappa to Hustler to social protest
Okay,
to
so
Marxism.
talk to me about Dirty Love.
I will after we're done. I will talk to you about that. All right, so then we ended up in the original Tole tune, Light.
Right. We
And
did.
Light is,
Finally, which was sweet.
it was only 8 minutes for the
Worst
Light.
lyric of any Fish song is probably Light. Like them
This is the,
getting figured out. I like the original Love and Light, maybe, but still, it's kind of dumb.
No, this is the original 3.0. Like, this is the original 3.0. I can't wait for the song to be over so that they start the jam song.
Oh.
Right,
Which is the
exactly.
third one in a row for me this set.
This is
Yeah.
like two it's like the same thing.
Light
And
yeah.
I saw the debut of this song at Fenway Park, and it was great. But I was like, "Whoa, this is weird." You know,
What did they do it out of mics or something?
We also did a
Tweezer,
TTE that show.
there was a tweezer. There was like a tweezer.
It might have been out of
bathtub jam.
Tweezer.
Yeah, tweezer bathtub jam. They also played that great song they should play like tomorrow.
Architect?
shit. No, the Leonard Skinner tune.
Oh, Ballad of Curtis Lowe.
Curtis Lowe. Yeah,
Yeah.
they played Curtis Lowe. And
You know, I've
Destiny.
never seen a Curtis Lowe in 125 shows over 30 some years. Never
You know,
seen
that's
a
me
Curtis
and
Lowe.
that's me and Peaches, and I'm really hoping I get.
There
my
she
Peaches
This
weekend.
girl is calling Peaches all day. So
I want Peaches tomorrow. I want Peaches, and Olivia's cool, and I want Tweezer. I mean, I'm ready.
I
Let's
want a tweezer.
No, fuck
go.
it, Tweezer. Fuck it, Tweezer. We're
No.
gonna
No, because
Fuck
when
you,
you see
I want all the
Tweezer
tweezers.
weather, you're just going to think of that
I got a
Meriwether.
tweezer at the man. I want another tweezer
You're
tomorrow.
not going to want to like hear that tweezer.
Don't ask us
They
about
aren't
it.
exclusive.
Yeah.
They aren't mutually exclusive.
Mercedes, you can have all the tweezers. I already told you this. Every time you can have it.
So Light ended up in Shine a Light, which everyone has been saying is a little nod to song names. It's
Well,
a Rolling
also, like,
Stones tune.
So
It's
fun.
really hard for. I think it's really hard for Trey to play Light right. I think it's really hard for Trey to play Light right now and not like get into the party time groove, which he almost did tonight, like for a second, and then he was like, "Wait a minute," he's like checking himself. It's funny with that song. It like goes back to the joke from like the 30th in 2016. Where is this the party time or is this Light or is this Wolfman's brother? Is this party time?
It's like the
They
most
play party time.
setlist thing. I feel like.
I'm sorry, Charlie Dirksen.
Charlie said the drum wasn't the same, but you know, like, how do you argue with live
But
Phish stuff?
I think this goes back to the whole quadraphonic topplings disappearing from Cypress and Sam becoming 34 minutes long.
Okay, that's different.
Oh my
if you
God.
say the lyrics over something, come on.
Well,
Yeah, okay, so what about Kung then? Why is Kung ever listed on his set list if Kung is only lyrics?
Kung is whatever Kung is. It's the monster. It's a thing that takes on
No, the
whatever.
thing-
It's only words.
But the thing with quadraphonic topplings at Cypress is that Mike was playing a tape recording of that. It was like a sample basically, like on a tape recorder, right? And that's what he didn't do the last time he tried to replicate it. But I'm not going to deny it.
So you're saying
I'm going to put all that kind of shit in every set list. I'm going to put the names of shit in every set list every time. Quadraphonic toplings, they did it for 30 seconds. Cool.
Bring back My Left Toe and.
Didn't we
That
see
guy outside a lot that played.
Didn't they play My Left Toe somewhere? Passport?
No. I wish.
All right, so we ended up in a fourth. We ended up in a fourth song encore, which is nice. We got the strange design. You guys talk about. I'm going to name all four, and then we can look at each. I think the first two are going to be throwaways. Good.
Time out, Kevin. Can we talk about that? Was a really nice landing of the second set in Shine a Light. We can't. I don't want to just like blaze over that, but that was pretty fucking sweet. You know.
No,
was it as good? Was it as good as the steam into the stash from the first set?
No, but it felt really like a nice spot to land in. Let's just say that.
I mean, he basically blessed everybody leaving because we all know Raleigh's a really shitty place with cops. So he's like,
Because it was the second coming. He blessed everybody.
Totally.
Yeah.
Raleigh sucks. And this reminds me. The last time I was at the Raleigh at that venue was the night that that Mike was out too late the night before with Colonel Bruce, and he came and Trey was like dishing the shit during the show, and it's like really, and at one point during the show, Trey was like, "We'd like to welcome back our bass player,
Mike Gordon."
And I was like, "Oh my god, really, fucker!"
So basically, Colonel Bruce got him doing shots all night.
Guys, you need to be a quartet. Calm down.
Yeah. Yes, totally. And
Anyway,
I was on my back. I was on my back on the lawn because I had gotten this chocolate mushroom. It was like a flower petal that had like
a goo ball.
Yeah, and I
those things
well,
bad.
No, not.
Yeah, we do.
I did. I ate too many of the petals. I ate like 4 or 5 of them, and it's like on my back. Anyways, delicious, but it sort of paralleled my own experience.
It was basically, Paul. It was basically a strange design you were seeing.
Very much.
Come on, give me the segue. Give me the segue.
What was it? Strange Design. There was a Wilson. Heavy Things.
Strange Design, Heavy Things.
Heavy Things. We were due for Heavy Things.
That was the only thing that wasn't the 3.0 of the show. Was the encore with 4 songs.
Can we talk about Heavy Things?
I've never had
Because it seems like they wrote it, and then someone at some Elektra, someone in a corporate office somewhere said that's a single because at Cypress they did it for the break.
So Phish has Heavy Things. John Mayer has Your Body's a Wonderland. Like,
I thought
that's just
John
your
Mayer had daughters.
Maybe not do the John Mayer.
No, it's definitely true. I think with the
Like,
you're
front,
gonna make money off of something and like throw it on TV. That's why Heavy Things
Heavy
was
Things
on
is
like
very
during New
radio
Year's.
approachable.
Exactly.
no, it's
There's
definitely
way
true.
more
I think
radio approachable songs than Heavy Things.
I would say like Heavy Things is
a radio friendly song. He's like, all right, here's Heavy Things. So
no Heavy Things is like in a lot of ways like at the time. No, Jesus. No, it was like their little like touch of gray for a second. It was like they tried to make a radio.
Exactly.
No,
They
do
tried
not
to.
put Furry in the same fucking
No,
boat as Heavy Things.
it was in as much as it was a thing that could have propelled them to
No.
another level. Touch of Grey hit top 10.
I'm sorry,
And all of a sudden,
Jennifer Dances fucking
everybody
fell
in the world
flat.
knows.
So they had to rely on Heavy Things.
They're so fucking.
but not the song. I'm saying the purpose of the song.
The purpose of the song.
As a vehicle for the band, it's a business decision.
Well, yeah, and they never did it because they
Let's
stopped.
just say this: I've heard both "If I Could" and "Heavy Things" in a like corporate restaurant, and been surprised. I've been like, "What the fuck?"
They ended up on whatever that radio station was, exactly.
Right.
And thank you. I have never seen an If I Could, and your blessing just now. Hopefully, we get that tomorrow. So then we went into Sneakin' Sally, which I was like, that's somebody's walk-on music. So I'm going to let you take
I thought
that.
it was fat. Sally's always fat. It's just
It's
obviously.
been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while.
I don't know if it was the last time that it was played, but the last memorable time it was played was Santa Barbara, which was like a really special Sally. So
And you were there.
Who was there?
Were you there?
Right in front of Trey.
Lon Memo traded his floor ticket.
And that's why he did it. He said, I know that chick from Twitter. Let's fucking bust this shit
You know
out.
what? Sometimes I wonder if that really happened.
I mean, that front row at that show, let's tell you about the politics down there. That's a thing for a different day. But Kevin, I know that like if you're as a big dog
I
as
don't
you
know
are,
nothing. I know nothing. I know.
There's nothing, there's nothing more iconic than Wombat Matt giving me a hug right in front of Trey when we drop into Sneaker Valley. So
or be in the back of Jay Blue.
that was
You know
really
what?
my
You know what?
favorite.
I have a theory. Somebody dropped off a tour for tonight and Merriweather, and I think that there's somebody who can't handle Merriweather's pit because it is so Baltimore. It
It's
is
really
fucking so hardcore. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, right? It's got to only be like
Apparently the new since like the roof fell down, there's like a VIP thing on top of the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it blocks.
And they have grass on the roof now. You can go up onto the lawn on the roof.
Yeah.
But you
Jeez.
gotta
The
get
last
there
time
early.
we had Merriweather, I saw like Antelope Greg and hung out with him for a minute and just just had to get like the
Anything
Jason,
can happen.
Put it on the
in
record.
Merriweather. When I was 14 in 1985, I went and saw the Fix open up for the Moody Blues. First time I ever went to Merriweather. Every year since then, except when they were closed for quarantine, I've seen a show there. I've probably seen 200 concerts at Merriweather over the past however many years. I've seen every Phish show. Tomorrow will be my 20th of 20 Phish shows at Merriweather.
But you work for what? Did you work for the 930 Club and all that like whole?
I worked for
group
8x10. I never worked for the 930 people. But I got a great Bob Weir story. I'm going to tell you my Bob Weir story, but I'll get shot for it. So we go to the 930 Club and Bob Weir's playing with Rat Dog, and it's sold out. This guy's like, "Oh, I got a Sharpie," and 930 Club stamp used to be a digital 930, right?
Yep.
So I draw a 930 on my hand, like a digital clock, and I walk up. The guy at the front door I used to work with at the bank, which was a club in Baltimore. And he's like, "Kevin, what's up?" And I'm like, I kind of show him my hand and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Go on in." I get home later that night. I wrote the 9 backwards.
Well, the funny thing about it is, if there are 2 shows back to back at the 930 Club, the first stamp is 8:15.
Yeah, they changed
8:15. The next one is 9:30.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I did. Well, thank you for the heads up. And then we ended up with Wilson, which was a cool, little closer.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about it.
No.
But I will say this, that I love you guys both coming on because I guess Brian and Hall go back way back. So that gives us that whole vibe. And I think you have a Dolphins hat on.
I actually
Yeah.
like. Let's be real. Me and Ha met from a chat like when the lottery first became $1 billion. And actually tonight, the old band got back together. We bought a whole bunch of lottery tickets. So it's really
did.
cool. To see
I was in I'm in 2 group chats that I ended up buying a bunch of lottery tickets.
It's all
So
the hype.
if we do it, we'll buy everybody a house. Maybe we can do a commune. Maybe we can buy like
I'm
North
not gonna buy a
Dakota.
house. I'm just gonna buy a farm and put somebody in charge. And I'm just gonna let you all be over there.
Hey, what commune?
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a couple politicians if I win. I think that's where you start.
I'd rather buy a country than a politician.
Well, so if you have a couple politicians, the right ones, go ahead. All what you
and everything.
No.
We need to buy an island.
I'm gonna buy
I'd
Wook
buy
Plus. That's my first enactment.
Yeah, we're gonna buy Wook Plus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well,
My
I'm
mortgage
so
servicer will love you.
guys for the shows. I wish I could be there with you all. I fucking love Merriweather.
so wish
It's gonna
you
be
were
so
there.
rad. Fucking Walfredo opener.
Oh yeah.
You know, the last time, you know, I have a story about that. One of my good friends, Mike Travers,
Right?
before the 2010 show started, he turned to me and a few other friends and said, they're going to open with Walfredo. And then they did. It's one of the greatest fucking calls.
We didn't go to every instrument and the entire place erupted. It was.
But you know, it's kind of you're kind of
Imagine
forced.
that was your first show.
That's an amazing show. That's
First
a
of all,
great
you were-
show, dude.
So that guy's that guy.
You're kind of forced to do it as an opener though, unless you do the rotation jam
Yeah.
and end up
Right.
in like Rocka William or something.
been a long
Why
time.
don't they bring back Rocka William? Can we get
don't they bring
fucking
back
songs
Alfred?
about murdering people?
Hey, Mike.
We got
If
that
anything,
tonight. What?
Mike, if anything, tell your man to do the Walfredo thing again.
You want to do Alfredo? Well, see, anytime I ask him, he always says, well, I'm only the drummer.
Right, but
The
it's about
biggest thing
crabs.
after me
It's
is
about
more
crabs.
than that.
The
And I was
song
like, well,
actually, the song
what are you
actually
talking
mentions
about?
Merriweather.
I know it does. Merriweather Post.
The world's greatest concert venue. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. And
Love you guys.
everybody, we love you. Tomorrow night, check in for Brian Brinkman, Guy Forget
Brian.
Ghost, and Pixel Wooks. We love you all.
You good, everyone. Have a
Bye.
great
Guys.